Dear Minister Ahmed, dear friend of Portugal, Senhor Secretário de Estado das Comunidades, Senhor Embaixador, querido Jack, senhores deputados da Assembleia da República, dos 6 partidos com grupos parlamentares, representando a riqueza do Parlamento português, queridos dirigentes fundamentais da comunidade portuguesa aqui em Ontário e em particular em Toronto, querido amigo John Lewis, que é este jovem que está aqui comigo e já vos explico porquê. Queridas e queridos amigos e compatriotas, first of all, a word to thank Canada. Dear Minister, we owe you so much. You received us. You received the first Portuguese 70 years ago. We had already been here before. In the 18th century, perhaps a little bit earlier. Oh, I forgot Julie. She's there, your MP, Julie. But now we owe you 70 years of friendship, of brotherhood, of fraternity, of mutual knowledge, mutual understanding, of tolerance, of freedom, of democracy, of diversity, of economic development and social development. Thank you. We Portuguese, we are very grateful. It's one quality we have. We are humble and grateful. That's the way we are. We are never arrogant. We never forget. And we are very, very grateful to Canada. Thank you. We were yesterday very much honored by the presence of Prime Minister Trudeau at the inauguration of the exhibition of the 70 years of the arrival of the Saturnia. Some, very few pioneers were still there, but their children, grandchildren, some of them were there. And the Prime Minister, in the middle of a busy, busy life, not only had the dialogue, the political dialogue with us before, and the lunch, but he wanted to go to the exhibition to show how the Prime Minister, the government, and the Canadian people respect you, admire you, which means respect Portugal and admire Portugal. Because each one of you is Portugal. Each one of you is Portugal. Of course, the President represents all the Portuguese, but each one of you represents the whole country. Whatever you do, whatever you think, whatever you work, whatever you learn, whatever you decide, whatever you love, you do it as a Portuguese. Of course, a Luso-Canadian, and also a Canadian, but mostly a Portuguese. And you represent Portugal. And that's why we share the respect and admiration of the Prime Minister Trudeau. We knew you already, but he does know you as well, as Canada as a whole, for 70 years. I was crossing the streets yesterday and today, and in Montreal, the 2 days before, and people were waving when they understood it was Portugal. Of course, so many Portuguese also. Amazed because they were not expecting to see the Portuguese president. But then so many Canadians, understanding by the flag it was Portugal, they knew our flag, and smiles and happiness and solidarity. I've crossed so many continents and countries. Happily, this happens very often with the Portuguese communities. But perhaps I never saw it so intense as here in Canada. You are their brothers and sisters. And they know it and they feel it. And they feel it. And what really strikes me is that the Portuguese community here has a long and prestigious past. The exhibition shows it. The Gallery of the Pioneers shows it. What you've been doing. You came to this country from Azores, from Madeira, from continental Portugal, from the north, the south, the center. In general, very poor. Very poor. Portugal was a poor country in '53. A poor country. You started your life from almost nothing. Then you brought your families, or you formed your families here. It was a long and difficult past, but it's a prestigious past. You showed what we are. Of course, we are fado, we are bacalhau, we are caldo verde, we are cozida à portuguesa, we are the vira and the corridinho and the fandango. We are all of this. We have a soul. We are Cristiano Ronaldo. We are so many champions in so many fields. But the best champions of Portugal are you, the Portuguese people. Every one of you is a champion. Is a champ. Sometimes you don't know it, but you are champions for what you've been doing throughout these 70 years. You, your parents, your grandparents. But this community, our community, has a great present. Great present. Look at the MPs in the federal parliament, in the provincial parliaments, the mayors, the councillors. Look at those that are in leading positions in economy and society, in university, in high schools, professors, professionals. Everywhere we are equals, wherever we are. You have a great present. And then you have a great future. That's why I brought this young fellow, 8 years old, because I looked around, he was the youngest. I didn't see any baby. I didn't see any child under your age. Jean-Louis? Jean-Luc. Correct? And he knows what he wants. He wants a brilliant future. And he's going to have it here in Canada. When we think that the youngest member of our Council of the Portuguese Communities is from Canada, from Montreal, the youngest all over the world. When I look at the students I saw yesterday in the university, and so many others in high school, in any school, learning the Portuguese. When I look at so many Portuguese and Luso-Canadians investing here, investing in Portugal, making the wealthiness of Canada and the fairness of Canada and the one of Portugal, then I'm sure you have a great future. You have a great future. You are not a community of the past or the present. You have the future. And now I stop speaking English. Otherwise you'll be killing me. Minister, eu queria dizer-vos, como Presidente da República Portuguesa, aquilo que sabem, que nós que estamos aqui neste palco, os deputados de todos os partidos, podem estar em desacordo em muita coisa, mas estão em acordo no essencial, que se chama Portugal, que se chama a diáspora portuguesa, que são vocês, que é a vossa comunidade, que é o vosso trabalho, que é o vosso passado, que é o vosso presente, é o vosso futuro, é o vosso amor a Portugal. E o Secretário de Estado, que aqui representa o Primeiro-Ministro e o Governo, sente exatamente o mesmo. Cada vez, ele lembrava isso hoje, cada vez que cantamos o hino nacional cá fora, o coração bate mais rapidamente. Sentimos que estamos unidos a 10 milhões lá dentro e já não sei quantos milhões cá fora. Diz que 5 a 10, eu acho que é muito mais do que isso. Estamos unidos. Quando vemos a nossa bandeira e vemos o vermelho do sangue da luta pela independência, vemos o verde das terras de Portugal, vemos os símbolos do fazer da nossa independência. Sabemos que Portugal é feito todos os dias, lá dentro e cá fora, e mais vezes cá fora, muitas vezes do que lá dentro. Nós sentimos a nossa força, que é a força de quase 9 séculos. Os outros países não tinham existido, nós já existíamos. É a força da nossa língua, a primeira no hemisfério sul, a 5ª falada no mundo, de um país aparentemente pequeno, a 5ª língua falada no mundo. É o sabermos da nossa força, que é a minha força, que é a força do John Duke, que é dos nossos deputados, que é do nosso Secretário de Estado, que é dos nossos deputados aqui no Canadá, dos nossos representantes no Canadá. É a vossa força. Vocês são o orgulho de Portugal. Vocês são o orgulho de Portugal. E eu sinto-me feliz por ser Presidente da República de um povo assim, de uma diáspora assim, de uma comunidade assim. Nós respeitamos todos, mas somos os melhores. Obrigado, Canadá. Viva o Canadá! 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 E viva Portugal! 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 Muito obrigado.